Hello friends, I am going to be making a silver birch log, two of them. One of them I'm going to make out of a Quaker Oats oatmeal container, and the other one is I'm using an ice cream container. Some of this cookie dough Edie's ice cream that tastes so delicious. Let's get started. So my first thing to do is I want to kind of make these so they're a cylinder without like a lid type on there, and so I'm just working away at this Edie's container, and I can see I can make that so we don't have an edge on it, so it looks like a container. I'm actually going to use the bottom of this container for the top, and then I've got the Quaker Oat box here, or the cylinder, and this has got a lid that, you know, it indents in here. And so I thought, well, this can be flipped over, but this also has one of those kind of indentures that goes down. So then I came up with the idea of just using some of this foam, and I'm going to cut out the foam and place that inside there. And it's approximately 3 3/4 inches. So I will do that, and I will show you what these look like. Okay, I took off the rim of this lid on the Edie's ice cream container, and this is what I've got left. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hot glue it to the container. Just going to put some of this on there. And press that down. Then I'm just going to take my time and trim along the edge here and get that paper all trimmed off. And I think it'll work. And in fact, I might even use this as the lid, as the top of the log, because it's nice and smooth. Okay, I have trimmed the ice cream container. This is what it looks like. There is a little lip here, but I'm hoping it'll still look okay. And then I've got our Quaker oatmeal box here. And I noticed that the depth in this isn't quite as wide as this. So I'm hoping this works. I took some of the scraps and I took the paper off, so it was a little bit thinner. And I'm just going to use the paper scraps on the bottom to give it a little bit of height. Put a little glue in there, and put a little glue in here. And then I'm going to glue this inside. And hopefully this will work. I'll just tuck that in there. Okay. So there's just a slight bit of lip there. I think I'll just go with it and just see how things work. See how it looks. The next step is painting. I'm using the base of it as the white at Waverly chalk paint. And then I'm adding a little bit of the Waverly, it's called silver lining. So we're going to use those. I'm using this as a base, and I'm going to kind of add some of this in because it is silver birch. And so I'm just going to begin to paint. And yeah, I may need to do a couple coats, obviously, because this is pretty dark. So I will finish on doing the white coat, let it dry, and then when I do my second coat and adding in the silver of this, I'll do some more filming. Okay, I've got the first coat of the white chalk paint, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these strips, and I'm going to kind of lay those in there too, and if some of them curl up, that's kind of good because that's what birch does at times. So I'm just going to use some of my Aleene's glue, and we're just going to put a little glue right on there and put some of these on. Give it a little bit of texture. I really kind of want it to curl up a little bit. We'll see how things lay down here on this. Then after this, these pieces are on there, we're just going to let this dry, and then we'll put another layer of the white on there. While I'm waiting for my faux logs to dry, I thought I would make something for the top of this, and this is just a little votive I got from Dollar Tree, and so it says Happy Mother's Day on there. I'm going to work on just sanding this off, or trying to get some of that glitter off. Yeah, that comes off pretty easily, looks like. Okay. And I do want to paint this as well. And again, I'm going to use the chalk paint, the white Waverly. I'm finding that I really do kind of like that chalk paint, and especially that brand, because it's just so thick. I didn't know that I would like it that well. But I guess I agree with what other people are doing. And they're just going, making lots of projects with that. It's a nice brand. So I'm just going to make a line because I want to go with another color on the bottom. So I'm just going with, working on a couple of different projects at the same time. While this dries, I'm going to go back to my logs. And so what I did is I took some printer paper and I put some Aleene's glue and glued this stuff on there and just allowed it to dry. And I did leave some imperfections and some of the curls like you'd see with you had a real log. And now I'm just going to go over it again and do some white. Okay, I've given everything a second coat, and now I am going to be using that silver lining. Just going to go in here with a little white and add a little silver lining in there. Just kind of do some blending. Got a little heavy there. So we'll just add a little white. I've gone over it with the silver lining and the white. Now I'm going to add some brown. The brown I chose was chocolate sprinkle, and it's a apple barrel color. And I'm going to focus on some of these blemishes and just run it across somewhat of a dry brush and just create some of those lines that the pretty birch has. Without it looking like paint. These little pieces I put in here to kind of look like blemishes, knots kind of a thing. Let's get a little more paint on there. Okay. And then if it gets too heavy, I guess I'm just going to go by and add a little bit of white. Okay, I'm going to move on to the other container here. There's some areas I could add some dark. I can hear birds. There's some nice birds outside, and it's been just a very nice day today outside up here in Minnesota. Here's another little blemish where I can make that look into a knot. Okay, so we'll just kind of let those dry. And then I wondered about the top. What do I want to do with the top? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of that thin paper. It's like brown paper sack paper. It's thin. And I'm going to crumple it up and put that on there. And so I will work on that. Okay, I took some of that paper it was already crumpled up in the garbage, and I took it out and kind of eyeballed making a circle. And I'm just going to take some of that Aleene's glue again. I'm just going to put a layer of that with my finger. You can do it with a brush. I'll bet you could use Mod Podge if you wanted to. Anything to kind of get that to stick on there. And then this is a seam. So I'm just going to run it in there a little bit. Okay. work on the next one here. Again, put some on the top. And that circle. This could have been done at the start if you wanted to. I guess I wasn't thinking about it. I just wanted to get my birch log looking realistic. But this certainly could have been done at the start. I'm going to allow this to dry a little bit. And then I do want to add some color to this top. All right, we're going to finish our tea light. And I decided to get out this Waverly mineral chalk paint and go along the bottom. So I did this top in white. I'm just going to go along. And if you choose to use like some tape, you know, to make it a straight line, certainly could. I'm just going to eyeball it today. And I'll probably do one more coat of this. And then I've let my logs dry, and I want to take and put a little bit of this mineral paint on here as well. And I'm just going to go in a circular motion, not that I'm making it look all that much like the end of a stump, but it's somewhat of an attempt. And when we put things on it, you won't be able to see much of it anyway, but I'll just do this. Okay, maybe just a little more dark. This is just that one brown that I had in there. That's that chocolate sprinkle. And this is the mineral. Okay. Okay, and then I'll just do the same with the other log. Just applying a base of the mineral. And then taking some of that chocolate sprinkle and adding some color in there. This is how the logs turned out, and I think they turned out pretty good. Okay, and I'm going to put another second coat on this, let this dry, and then we'll finish this up and we'll show you the display. Here's how the tops turned out. Maybe not quite so wood-like, but I think at a distance it'll work. I'm kind of loving how the curled, you know, the wood look with the paint in there, it got a little thicker and it's totally looking like bark to me. Okay, well, let's decorate these. Well, here we go. I'm just going to add a little succulent here. It's a fake one, but that's all right. We got a lot of faux things here. And here's how our logs turned out, and made that cute little votive candle into a little container. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can see how easy it is to make a faux birch log. And thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.